Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rekakadash. Right. And I also want to give double honor to the elders and apostles of the house of David, who's been ruling well through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua. Right. And I also want to give a peace and salutation to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom, shalom. It's going to be, really ain't got a lesson drawn up. I just want to go off the spirit and, just talk about a few things a while. This truth is doing much more than any Christian church, than any religion could have done, man, right? Because this truth is putting fathers back into the household. This truth is teaching young men how to be men, right? It's teaching men how to be responsible and how to take care of their wives and their children, right? And we're breaking generational curses. Now, the Most High already told us, right, in Acts 7, that he's not dealing with the Christian church, man. Right? So the book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 48, it said, "Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Heaven is my throne, earth is my footstool. What house will ye be at me? Saith Yahweh, and what's the place of my rest?" Right? So the earth is the Most High's footstool. Right? He's sitting on his throne, and the earth is his footstool. Right? So it's we don't have to be in a church, man. Right? You don't have to go into a side of building to serve the Most High. Right? We don't have to go inside a building to get the truth. Right? The truth is freely on the internet, man. Right? Let's get book of Matthew chapter 18. Book of Matthew chapter 18 verse 20. It's what Hamashiach Yahushua said. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am. Salaki, there am I in the midst of them. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Right? So for 2 or 3 gathered in my name, there Yahushua is in the midst of them. That's church, right? 2 or 3 that are gathered and they're preaching. Right? What are they preaching? They're preaching the gospel, right? So that's what we got to understand. All right? This is why people scoff and mimic and mock the truth, right? Because it's not for them, right? This truth has been from the foundation of the earth. Everything is predetermined, man, right? So that the election of the Most High might stand, right? So many people, they scoff, they hate, and and ultimately they just shine more light on the truth, right? Because it's saying 2 Corinthians 13:8, right? You can do nothing for the truth but for the truth, man. Let's bring it up. All right, it's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 13. These damn typos, bear with me, man. All right, 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. For we can do nothing, right? We can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth, right? So we can do nothing against the truth, man. But what? For the truth. All right. So the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3, right? Now this is for, they say we in a cult, right? But mostly Christianity's, Christian, I ain't gonna say mostly, it is. The Christian doctrine is built off Paul's epistles, man. All right, we're gonna get that. The 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. All right? For whom Yahweh, right, Salakia, from whom the God of this world had blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of a Mashiach, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine into them, right? So the God of this world had blinded the minds of them that believe not. They don't understand, right? They don't understand this gospel, right? Because they don't know what the gospel is. What is the gospel? The gospel is salvation for the Israelites, deliverance from the captives, man, right? For the captives who are in captivity, the Israelites, right? But Christian doctrine is built off Paul's epistles, man. But what did Paul say? Right? And we can also put up another translation. Right? It say, but this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, right? You go into that word heresy. Matter of fact, we can go into it. You might can just do that instead of going into another translation. We're going to the Greek. All right, and it means an act of taking capture, right? Which the chosen of the Sadducees, Pharisees, and of Christians. Right. It's not really telling me nothing here, but we're gonna finish the verse, and we'll get another translation that proves that. Right, when you go into that word heresy, it's basically going into a cult. Right, and it said, but this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the power of my fathers, believing in all things which are written in the law and the prophets. Right. So salvation is only for the Israelites. That's written in the prophets and is written in the law. Right? So Paul believes that. That's why Paul said in Romans 11 chapter that the Most High did not cast away his people, for he is an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. Right? And he also said that in 25 verses later that all Israel should be saved. Right? He said, for the bound, I am bound in these chains for Israel. Right? Let's go to Romans 10. Right, Romans 10:1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, for Israel is that they might be saved. He didn't say for everybody. He said that they might be saved. Right? So be careful dealing with these different type of doctrines, Christians, and things of that sort, man. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's going to get you caught up, man. Right? Christianity and these other religions are broad. It's broad, the way that lead to destruction. Right? Matthew the 7th chapter. Right? Broad is the way that lead to destruction. That's talking about Christianity. Beware, right, of these different doctrines. Right? Now let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Right, Deuteronomy 28. Right, verse 15. Right, and it say, but it should come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, right, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Right, we fell to these curses because we broke the law, statute, and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Right, Christianity and these other religions do not teach the commandments. Right. Teach you can be a homosexual. Teach you can come as you are. Teach you that you can commit all type of fornication, maliciousness, right? Envy, covetousness, right? Whole time you in the church, the pastor, he wants your wife, man. Pastor the whole time he's trying to figure out how he can get your wife. Right? I hear so many stories of pastors sleeping with the church congregation, like the men, right? I heard so many stories that the pastor was sleeping with other brothers' wives inside the church, man. All right. So the Most High he said he will give us pastors. Let's bring it up, man. I can believe it's Jeremiah 3, and Jeremiah 3:15. It said, I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Right? So you have the pastors, right today, right? The Israelites, the prophets that are feeding our people with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? According to the power of Yahweh Shah, man. Right? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Right? So you got to beware of these pastors, as Jeremiah the 23rd chapter say. Right? Ezekiel 13th chapter, Ezekiel the 34th chapter, Isaiah the 56th chapter, right? Micah the 3rd chapter, Titus the 1st chapter, right? You gotta beware, right? Now, Deuteronomy 28:68, man. Let's go to verse 54. Verse 54, right? It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate. So once upon a time, we was very delicate, nice, one to another. Bro, you need a place to stay. You know, hey, how's the family? You hungry? You know, wife has cooked us some good food. Hey, come on, have a bite, man. Have you a nice cold drink, beverage. Nowadays, man, it's just our people, man. They don't want to get right, man. So they hate each other. But his eyes should be evil towards his brother, man. Right? That's black on black crime. Where's the Christian church? Right? Where's these religions when black on black crime happen, man? Right? Where's these religions, or mainly, and the main one I'm targeting is the Christian church. So this is to the Christian church. Where are the Christian church when our people get shot down in the street, man, by the police? Where's the Christian church when our brothers are killing each other in the streets over blocks? Right? Where's this? Where's the fight at, man? Right? But nobody give a damn, right? Pastor driving a damn Bentley, man. Got a nice ass house while people in his congregation is homeless. That's madness, man. Right? So there's a point in time, man, right? Things need to change. Right? But it's not going to change because the Most High has put a decree out, man. Right? He got his men out here teaching our people the way of life, man, which is the law, statute, and commandments. The law, statute, and commandments is the doctrine of life, man. Right? And you got the Christian church telling you that you don't need to be taught the doctrine of life. So what are they teaching you? They're teaching you to sin. They keep you in sin. Right? And they say towards the wife of his bosom. Right? There's so many domestic violence cases in the black community. Wife, right? Husband hating the wife, and vice versa, right? Verse 56 say the Israelite woman is going to use the children, right? You got baby mama drama, man getting put on child support, right? These are curses, right? And we're teaching the law, statute, and commandments, right? And the commandments is which reverse the curses, right? So this is how the truth is so beneficial, man. I done heard plenty of brothers say they got in this truth, their lives had gotten so much better. Right? Christian church ain't making no sacrifices for the Lord, man. We can't eat certain food. We got to check the ingredients, right? We got to get days off from our job, right, to keep the high holy days, feast days, right? We can't just walk and go as we please, man. We have to make sacrifices for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right, well, they said celebrating their Christmas, their Halloween, Thanksgiving, right? Up here singing Christmas carols. Oh, the weather outside is... Come on, man. Yeah, the weather outside gonna be nice when you get hit with that nuke, man. All right? So, you know, beware, man. This is how we are changing this truth. I mean, it's like we are changing the way our people operate by keeping the commandments, by reversing these curses, right? Because what the Most High say once we start keeping the commandments. Look at Deuteronomy 30 and verse number 7. And Yahweh, thy power, will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Right? So these curses are going to be reversing our enemies. That's why Esau can't handle, he committed suicide. Right? Esau dying. All sorts of stuff, man. Right? So this truth is so beneficial for the so-called black community, man. For the Israelites. Because it's teaching us how to be a man. It's teaching us how to be a woman. And more importantly, it's teaching us how to serve our power, man. Through Yahweh Shai. Right? How is this truth beneficial? Because the blessings, man. Right? The blessings. The rewards. The serving of the true living power, man. Not serving some damn white boy named I'm going to call it the J word. Because I don't even want to say that damn name, man. His true name is Hamashiach Yahawashah, or Yahawashah Hamashiach. Right? So these curses are being reversed on our enemies, man. Right? And thou shalt return and obey to the voice of Yahweh and do all his commandments. Right? Which I command thee this day. So that's what it's about. Keeping the law, statute, commandments, and the faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, man. Right? So beware. Right? Yahushua told us to beware of these religions and these churches, man. Right? Colossians 2:8. Right? So the point of this video, Israel and whoever Israel, brothers, sisters in the world that's watching this video, right? The point is, man, keep the commandments and live, man. Get out of this death. Stop making a covenant with death, man. That's all these religions is gonna get to you, man. The commandments is the doctrine of life. That's how you get life. All right? I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.